year is 2005, and gamers have been playing a tactical realistic SWAT simulator called SWAT 4, which was and still is loved for being a methodical tactical police game that boasted realism and allowing the player to have control of your team's movements and take on demanding, intense settings, making you feel fully immersed in the world. But as a spiritual successor of SWAT 4 came Ready or Not, the huff of fresh air that the community needed, with modern controls and still containing the same amount of detail as the fantastic game SWAT 4. It first launched for PC players on the 17th of December 2021, which allowed these people to build a community up until the console release on the 15th of July 2025. PC was able to experience this disturbing, gut-wrenching world with ominous and expert world storytelling that would make your blood run cold. For console players, this game had to be censored for release, meaning a lot of shock factor wasn't available for these console players. But despite that, this game remains one of the most disgruntling and masterfully made tactical shooters that I have ever played, and the deeper the lore got, the more disturbed I became. This is Ready or Not.
This call is being recorded. What is your emergency?
I need the police. You need to send the police right away.
Come help me.
God, I'm sorry.
I don't want to die.
I'm sorry. I love you.
Help us.
You ready?
Yes, sir. Ready.
Move! 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 Take it down!
You are a SWAT team leader called Judge, and you are the ideal, most prospective officer possible. You obey every order and you're damn good at your job. This department is set in Los Sueños, evidently based on the real-life Los Angeles, California. Los Sueños, meaning the dreams in Spanish, is ironic as this godforsaken metropolitan city is nothing but riddled with poverty and homelessness, and the most villainous crime imaginable. From petty store thieves to illegal weapon manufacturing to undercover FBI agents, cults, drugs, terrorists, human trafficking of both adults and minors, which includes illicit content rings. This place is filth. And LSPD are the last few and final of God's lone soldiers doing what they can to clean up this mess. Men and women have been broken, crumbling over the pressure and disgust encountered from venturing this abominable plane, which is contrasting to its past, as Los Sueños in the 20th century was exceeding, but by 2020 everything fell apart. The economy crashed and so did society. From homeless vets to politicians in power, nobody was safe from the hands of corruption. The department themselves even mentioned it on a briefing of a HQ quote. Life in Los Sueños is unforgiving. The sidewalks are littered with tents of the homeless. People clamour for money to keep themselves off the street. Criminals' activity is at an all-time high. Morale is at an all-time low. It is truly hard times for both the citizens of Los Sueños but also the department. So it is up to you to do your part. You have 18 main game operations to go through, both with either your AI squad, your friends, or even alone, with 8 additional DLC operations. Home Invasion, which takes place after a catastrophic hurricane ripping through Los Sueños, and investigate homes that have been intruded. Dark Waters, looking for emergencies surrounding coastal areas such as yachts and oil rigs. And finally, Los Sueños Stories, tackling gangs. As you enter the game, we spawn into Los Sueños Police Department. Here you can walk around and get a scope of the place. Outside you can find a speaking pedestal, which is trash beyond the gates. Inside you have many departments to look at, such as the evidence room where you can research evidence found from each mission completion, which gives little tidbits of lore about that level. Or the shooting range downstairs where you can test your loadout. There's even a prisoner. We don't talk about him.
We're not looking for body bags. Maintain your ROE.
But most importantly, you have the HQ and the locker room. In here you can change your loadout. You have many weapons to pick from, such as assault rifles, varied with compact, robust, self-suppressed, long range and non-lethal, submachine guns, shotguns, and if you had the deluxe edition, you had access to grenade launchers. You also have a wide choice of pistols. All these weapons you can customize their attachments like scopes, suppressors, laser sights, etc. You have back assist equipment, which all have different values like riot shields, battering rams, recon mirror cameras, and M320 launchers. These all allow you to make a build supporting your playstyle. Then we have your armor, with various choice, with lighter choices making you quicker, but you take more damage, to heavy armor allowing you to take more damage, but your speed and acceleration is lowered heavily. Additionally, you have headgear such as gas mask, ballistic masks, anti-flash goggles, and if you want to go full Rambo, you can run no headgear at all. The loadout selector is very in-depth and customizable, where you can even pick how many mags of each gun you want to carry and which type of ammunition you want. This includes equipment like flashbangs, C2, wedges, tasers, etc. These all take up one loadout point per item, which can be increased or decreased depending on what armor you have equipped. You can also customize your fit. This has a lot of choice, with more items being unlocked for completing certain instances, such as S rank in a map. You can change your clothing to your armor, or even your tattoos and glasses. This customization really helps you give a feel of control and simultaneously making you feel like you're constructing a team. But now your loadout is ready, you have to craft your squad. On Commander mode and Iron Man mode, there is a roster of AI characters that have different abilities that get unlocked after giving them experience on the field. You can also customize the loadout and clothing the exact same way that you can. This again gives you flexibility to craft a team of your playstyle. If you're aggressive and hard breaching, then you'll love having a veteran, breacher, an S-bag and a negotiator, which helps you enter quickly and neutralize targets peacefully or harmfully. But now we can go to HQ and select our first mission. You can choose difficulty ranging from easy, medium and hard, and we have 3 targets which we can see on our tablet that gives us a briefing of the mission with suspects, civilians, media and 911 calls. These men are Andre Williams, Jaden Fletcher and Zion Pretlow. These 3 men are robbing a gas station with a background of drug and violence offences. It is even stipulated that they are under the influence of methamphetamine. There are also civilians inside, but more noticeably a little girl named Crystal Layton, who has gone missing inside the building, as we was notified by her mother, Charlotte Layton, who is also stuck in this robbery.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello, my name is Charlotte Layton. I'm at a gas station and need help right now.
Ma'am, are you at the 4U gas station on 5th and Van Dyke South Side?
Yes, please help. I got separated from my daughter, Crystal. They're shooting people.
Okay, I need you to listen to me carefully, okay? Follow my instructions. You need to find a safe place anywhere you can hide, and I need you to stay on the line with me, okay? Officers are already on the way.
Okay. Please don't hang up. Oh, God.
I'm here, ma'am. I need you to stay hidden and quiet for me until officers get there.
Okay. Oh, fuck, I think they're coming.
Now we are outside the gas station ready to enter. The gameplay consists of strategically analysing each room, as rushing is a death wish. Taking it slow is the way to go if you want to survive. You have many quips to your disposal. You have semi-automatic or full automatic, night vision, equipment wheels, glow sticks, team body cams, and you can even lower your weapon to walk faster. If you're on Commander or Iron Man mode, you can command your AI to do actions, from stacking up to clearing in many ways. Scanning, disarming traps, and using mirror guns, and many more options. This gives you massive control of your team and allows you to make many strategic decisions. You even have a map on your tablet to plan out your attack. You have 2 teams, red and blue, which can be ordered separately or together in gold team. You can also queue them to have a coordinated breach. You can also order them to do things for you, such as pick a lock, arrest suspects, or secure evidence. Evidence being dropped weapons from suspects. You can also do the same with suspects and civilians, telling them to come over to you or move away when they've surrendered. But be aware, as suspects suspects on their knees can jump at you and ambush you when you're not looking, either with a gun or a knife. The game is highly in depth. You'll be able to check your ammo without reloading, instead of having a massive ammo count as UI, which you can also do while aiming down sights. After breaching, you should be cautious. You can clear a room in many ways. A massive room would be ideal to have a split stack clear, so both teams venture into both sides of the room, with you being able to go through the middle. A centered mass small room is very dangerous, as an enemy could be hiding in any part out of sight. Here it would be smart to throw a flash, gas, or a stinger to flush out the enemy. There are many situations you'll come across where you must adapt to your surroundings and depict what the best plan of attack is, because of course you wouldn't want you, your team, or civilians to perish. You can crouch to hide and cover, however moving while crouched will take away your latitude. You can also peek, giving you advantage when scanning a corner, and you can also use a canted sight, which is advantageous in narrow environments where a full sight would be a bit too cumbersome. Now you are ready to take on suspects. When encountered, you can yell for compliance. Some listen straight away, allowing you to arrest them and rewarding you with a better score. However, some will hesitate. You can hit them or warning fire to make them drop, but some do not. This unfortunately means you will have to engage in a gunfight. Depending on where you hit them, they may be dead or incapacitated. On the latter, you can still restrain them and get more points for having them be alive, but you will not be able to get an S rank. This all depends on the place of hit or the caliber of the gun and bullet. The gas station is pretty standard on paper. Unruly drugged thugs robbing a store, but these guys aren't any normal thugs. Los Sueños has made these guys adapt into evil beings. You venture in the back of the store and you'll find a manager who called 911.
911, what's your emergency?
Hello! I'm being robbed!
Okay, try to remain calm for me, sir. Where's the robbery taking place?
The foil gas station at 5th and Van Dyke, Southside. No, I've got it. They started shooting.
Officers are on the way, sir. I need you to get somewhere safe, okay? And if you're able to, please tell me how many people you saw inside.
I'm in the back room. I'm not sure how many. I think...
Sir? Hello, sir?
No way. No.
Are you there?
Hello.
Sir?
No.
This is him, Mudasir. Just another day for the manager, he thought, but instead his life and others were taken carelessly. Remaining in the back of the store, you'll be able to find Crystal, the child, hiding in the back, cowering in fear. An innocent soul traumatized for life, same for the mother who was scared for her life, thinking that she may have lost a child. For a starting mission, it sets in pretty deep that the crime in Los Sueños isn't any petty crime. These people are insane and unrelenting, but this is absolutely nothing compared to what's to come. If you are brought order to chaos, rescued all civilians, found Crystal and the manager, then you are able to go home and wrap it up.
Report to center for debrief.
Once completion, you'll get your score. You'll get points for alive suspects, evidence secured, soft objectives, and no dead officers. You will lose points for having team damage, dead civilians, etc. And the best rank you can get is an S, which can only be obtained by doing non-lethals, which means nobody can get killed and no team damage can be inflicted. You must collect all evidence and soft objectives. Your sweep will usually go like this: target suspects first, and civilians tied up in a safe space as you go, since they will run to you if it is safe to do so. Soft objectives as you go, and evidence left until last. As with AI, you can commence a search and secure, where they'll go across the map and pick up everything. Unless you're with a friend or solo, which you're gonna have to bag all the evidence as you go along. You'll also get a report on your team's mental health. If you arrested 4 or more suspects, your team will remain content. However, if you kill most suspects or a civilian or an officer dies, they will become anxious or even stressed. If this gets pushed any further, they can go into crisis and eventually leave. You can send them into therapy or rotate your squad to keep them happy. But now we'll venture into the real game. We get a call from an apartment about a hostage situation. A man called Michael Williams, a streamer, who tells us this.
911, what is your emergency?
My name is Michael Williams. I'm currently in apartment 14 in the San Uriel condominiums with my piece of shit brother. I'm calling you because I've killed my mother, and I'm going to kill my brother. And then I'm going to kill myself. So don't come in.
Okay, sir, stay with me. I would like to...
Don't tell me what to do!
This is all we know thus far, and it is urgent. As we get in, we see towering apartments in a dusty, unkept way, showcasing the lack of care Los Sueños has been put through. There are 2 entry points, however you'll come across the same room. You'll be greeted by security in a big room with many computers and servers. It seems clear that we've stumbled across something more than we thought. Turns out these thugs are acting as hired guns for Michael to protect his illegal crypto mining gig. As we go upstairs and go through more hired guns, we have 2 rooms to enter. The furthest along is an apartment room with potentially more gunmen. Note that enemy swarm changes each run and the amount varies depending on difficulty. Once we clear out, we will find a lady in the bathroom. This woman is actually Michael's mother, whom in the report was called dead. This tells us that the call must have been faked. Due to Michael being a popular streamer, it's most likely he was swatted by a viewer and that the call was fake too. This makes us not trust the briefings, as numerous times we enter these dangerous environments lacking knowledge. But it was a lucky shot for LSPD that Michael got swatted. Once we enter the final room, we are met with many guns. This is the main room, Michael's room. With the amount of protection up here, makes it suspicious. Looking around, you'll find a lot of lewd anime figures. This sets him up to be a bit of a degenerate, and clearly there is something a little bit wrong with him, most likely not having an intimate moment with another human in a while. You will also stumble across his brother, who seems unaware that apparently his brother wants to kill him, which further verifies that Michael was spotted via fake call. We'll enter Michael's room and neutralize him, preferably alive. Now you can look around his room and come across yet more anime figures, but you'll notice a song playing on the TV by Andre Williams, which is the same man who was involved in the robbery in Thank You Come Again. We'll also find a furry suit in the back room, so take that with what you will. But most importantly, we find his stream. You'll see a chat reacting to everything, which is a very good added detail, which Ready or Not excels at. Also tidbit, his username is Milky Toes Games, so clearly it's an alright in the head. However, if you move your head to the left, you'll find a chat log with another user. Now, all of a sudden, your suspicions on this man adds up. There is something deeper. The message reads, "Yo bro, you got the goods? She figured you out yet? Been itching to see more of that. Yo my dude, you know me, got my fingers everywhere. Checked out what's on the Mindshot private server. This stuff is prime. Also, LOL, check out my neighbor. She is smoking. Woof woof." She has no idea. A moment of disgust flows through your body as you realize what's really going on here. If it wasn't clear enough, Michael Williams is a deranged, troubled man. From one fake 911 call, we found 3 major crimes. Michael is a predator who is involved in a legal, illicit minor content ring. You may notice the server name, Mindshot. Remember that. It will become apparent soon. But now you've come to terms with a profound, disturbing truth you've stumbled across, unwarned, and once again realized that the city is worse than it seemed. An undercover patrol cop discovered something massive. He found the house as containing laboratories cooking methamphetamine, which has been a rampant infection in Los Sueños. There are 2 fumigated houses that interconnect with each other and a secret garage, and suspects will be highly erratic and volatile. When we get deployed, a sudden shift in atmosphere sets in. It's unnerving and dark. Our target is a John Doe, which is a standing name for an unknown anonymous person, and we are to find 2 meth labs and a meth storage. This mission gets you off guard with its level, and if you aren't prepared, it can horrify you. You have 2 entry points, the main door or the backyard. If you enter through the front door, you'll most likely encounter suspects. These people are very erratic. Well, you'll notice they'll hesitate longer or start sprinting towards you. Suspects also have a morale system. Certain things like suspects shooting raises their morale, which is the reason for long shootings. However, you can lower the morale of a suspect by kicking doors down, using C2 and flashbanging them, or even outnumbering them and yelling at them to comply. This will make them more likely to surrender. However, some enemies, if pushed too far, can commit. The house is smashed to pieces, and no love is shown to maintaining the house since everyone is doped out of their mind. Looking at the bathroom, you'll find a toilet absolutely filled with feces, smothered everywhere. It is truly a disgusting moment and amplifies how dirty you feel being in this crack house. The kitchen is stained and the living room is trashed. You have a very creepy dark back room which leads to outside. Once you sweep the downstairs, you can go upstairs or in the garage. Venturing upstairs, you'll encounter a lot more suspects, and these ones are especially bold. There is a new enemy introduced to us, specifically for this mission, the knife enemy. These guys will ambush you or sprint towards you behind cover, and this is what always catches me. All of a sudden, Ready or Not is now a horror game like Outlast, where you feel unnerved with every corner you come across, as you never know which one has a suspect hiding waiting to ambush you. It is highly recommended to use night vision and a flashlight on this map. If not, then you may have some parts where you cannot see very well, such as the attic. If you go left, you'll come across 4 rooms. The left room contains an absurd amount of meth. It would make water white shed a tear, telling us that this crack house is a big house for production of meth in Los Sueños. The room on the right contains a lot of cash, also telling us that this distribution from this house is doing very well. The second room on the right, however, holds something much darker. A child's room. On the bed lays a convulsing man. Laying next to her is a syringe, and on the floor you'll see around the room you'll find the girl's disturbed drawings, reflecting her trauma. This was the first point in the game where I was stunned. A game has never made me feel so much disgust before, but the worst part is that this happens in real life, and that is what makes this game even more powerful. The censorship for console changed this room, however. The miner is unconscious, sleeping, and the syringe is gone, along with the drawings are still there, however. The end room is a bedroom, and you may encounter a suspect hiding under the bed. This is also a moment which catches you off guard, since you now think that you have to check every single crevice, just in case, amplifying your paranoia. Upstairs is even darker than before, with tainted devils lurking in the shadows. All sons and daughters now taken by the hand of Once the other rooms have been cleared, you'll cross a bridge into the next house. Here you'll encounter more suspects and civilians. Once breached, you'll find a small lab, one of many. The lab isn't top quality standard, yet the meth itself seems to be selling well. If you go right, you can enter the attic. Be wary, it is very dark, with many corners of potential adversaries waiting to be hiding and jump scare you. I always find it distressing how quickly a life can be taken. 1 second you'll be walking around the house, and all of a sudden an erratic mental enemy catches you off guard and takes your life away in mere seconds. Seeing your team being taken the same way for the first time is shocking. You spend time crafting a team that you have taken through many events, just for them to slip up once and that's it. That is what makes encountering these individuals in this map specifically intimidating. Due to their unpredictable nature, you can't trust anything. Twisted Nerve has you constantly alert and aware, and if you're not, then you'll be gone. In the attic, you'll find many things like a bust, beds, and teddies, each telling a story. Once you go through the front-facing door, you'll encounter a staircase going down and 2 off rooms on the left. The first one holds yet another meth lab. The second room is yet another grimy bedroom. Downstairs you'll be met with many rooms, but most importantly, the one on the left. This is a major room with even more equipment for cooking. It seems these 2 houses have formed to start a fairly sizable production line for themselves. It seems like they have tons of people squatting in the same houses, not allowing these addicts to escape due to a constant influx of meth. Lives gone down the gutter. You can venture outside, encountering a garage, but upon entering, something strange remains. A massive mine tunnel, absurdly and crudely dug, usually containing a few crackheads down there with sawed-off shotguns. That is Twisted Nerve. Dungy interconnected houses with schizophrenic disturbed drawings scraped on every wall, ragged and trash rooms, feces smeared across all the bathrooms, and users that have become dregs of society, with little chance of redemption in such a horrendous city. One can only hope that these poor souls can get rehab, but it is unlikely. Not here in Los Sueños. Twisted Nerve for me is the main mission that set the tone for the game for things to come. It shook me when discovering the miner, and the meth story only adds up further as we progress. This is where the nightmare begins. Our target is George Brixley, a former army officer who had charges for kidnapping and rape. Now he has set up shop in the most deprived area of Los Sueños called The Row, mimicking Skid Row IRL. George has set up a talent scout agency called Brixley Talent Time, with extremely unsettling decor, most importantly this star, which makes you wonder what type of parents would bring their child to this sketchy type of area. He is being investigated for being part of a suspected ring, similarly to our previous catch, Michael Williams. We are told by a homeless man reporting to an officer about suspicions of Brixley entering the building with mothers and kids constantly throughout the day. We enter and already see the depravity around. Nobody is here to help solve the homelessness, with trash piling up on the streets, with no one picking it up. Most likely the roadside workers being on strike due to the crime spikes. Outside you'll find tents, with signs talking about a vet bill. We have 3 entry points. First on the right goes through a shop to an outside spot, usually containing a few hired lowlives hired by George Brixley, and a door further along entering the same spot, allowing you to split the teams and overwhelm them. His conscience has clearly got him guilty of all the crimes he's committing with these poor innocent children and the parents he's he's manipulated, that he's hiring low-life scum to protect him. Considering the business is run into the ground with abysmal decor, it isn't rash to assume George is paying these low-life guns with profit made from somewhere else. Now we have a choice to go upstairs and flank downwards to the main hall, or through the back and enter the backstage rooms. On the main entrance we see the name Safe Injection Clinic, once again telling us that drug use is rampant. In the main hall we see a lot of children targeted decoration, but something is offsetting, a vivid emptiness to it. With many rooms to enter, one in particular strikes me as a point of interest. The auditioning room. Plastered all across the walls are children's faces, the same faces that were manipulated, promised to become a future star under Brixley's washed-up talent scouting. These kids look miserable, suggesting that Brixley mistreated them. We know that Brixley is a short-tempered man due to his criminal record, but there is a voiced recording of an audition with a young boy that only further replicates this.
I don't care. Say the line.
I don't want to.
Say the fucking line!
I'm Cowboy George, and this is the wacky wild...
God damn it, no! You know what? Get out of here. Tell your mom to come in.
This shows how he is clearly not fit to be around children, and massively indicates the fact that he's using them for his own game. He doesn't care about these children, he just wants profit, and of course, his own content. In the same room we can find yet more pictures of kids, with paper stars on the ceiling with names of each child, but most disturbingly, a computer with a chat on it, on a MindJot server, with a man under the name of AV, which reads, "Make the little redhead wear a princess dress. Here, gonna get her to smile though. Perfect. She's gonna look great on the cover. Don't worry, I'll get her to smile." Once again, another moment of pure disgust and anguish for these cretins. It was already apparent, but the confirmation only makes it more disturbing. And the worst part? We are ordered to take Brixley alive. As much as the world deserves us to put a bullet through his head, we'll only be punished for doing so. Brixley himself is found wandering around the back, and since he is unarmored, he surrenders fairly easy. However, if you aren't quick enough, he may end his own life. Yet another name tied to the same ring as before, and the picture only just gets bigger. In a main room you'll find a desk. Here you'll see a contract, condoms, alcohol, and figurines doing questionable actions. You can also find more audio recordings that talk about Brixley's history, being a kid in therapy sessions, which indicate that Brixley himself has suffered childhood trauma, guiding him down this forsaken path.
George, my name is Dr. Davis. Nice to meet you. Now, before we get started, you don't have to worry about a thing. Our sessions are all covered.
You see me pulling out my fucking wallet?
Good one. After looking at your history, it looks like you've had some sessions as a child. How did that go?
Fucking stupid. Waste of time, never again.
But you're here now.
Well, Doc, so are you. Looks like neither of us has a choice.
You're good with the snappy one-liners. You could be on TV.
Well, I was on TV a long time ago. When I was a kid, small roles, commercials.
What happened with that? I didn't see anything like that listed in the history.
Wasn't for me.
Why's that?
Doesn't matter. Are we done here?
In Brixley's office, on his desk you'll see a gun, a lot of money and cocaine, but unsurprisingly, a bunch of pictures of illicit content of minors. If you go left, you'll go down into a little room and it has a massive stand-up picture of the little kid he was talking to in the voice message. In the same area, you'll come across parents. These parents you should feel bad for, as maybe they've been taken advantage of, only taking their kids here for a shot to fame. But the more digging you do, you found out that these parents sold off their kids for a dime, abandoning their kids into a dodgy, decrepit agency. They knew it, and they knew it wasn't clean cut, but they did it anyway. Along the walls you'll see writing saying, "Think of the money." A very tempting deal in these parts. Although as you go around, you will hear the parents shouting how they're sorry and they want their kids to be safe. Some even say that they only did it for the money.
Please understand, I did it for the money!
The spider amplifies the feelings from the last two missions, and tells us that this is bigger than anticipated. With this new AV character, we have some more digging to do. But not just that, there are many more problems coming up, such as the vet bill signs from outside. Following up from the meth house, we venture into the next level, Lethal Obsession. Our target is Jared Scott, a mysterious man who opened fire at cops at a station, leaving 3 injured and 3 passed. He is extremely dangerous.
15L32, priority.
15L32, go ahead.
I've got multiple officers down outside of the East McKay station.
Suspect is at large. Location unknown. Get me backup and medics here. Code 3. Get me SWAT.
All units on the channel 15 L32 reporting multiple officers down at East McCade Station, requesting backup code 3, unknown location of suspect.
Not much is known about him, except that he used to work for the USIA, which is Ready or Not's version of the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency. The level is fairly small but condensed, set in a cabin in the woods. There are multiple enemies here, but also traps set around. There are a few ways to clear traps: peek the door and disarm it, which can risk getting caught if they're outside the door, but using an opti one can help you see if it is safe to peek the door. You can also blow the door down with C2, but make sure you are well away from the door, as it will catch you and your team, and civilians. Finally, you can go around in different exits, as Lethal Obsession has numerous entrances, but through the main door you'll have two hallways, one that leads to a basement and a wraparound back room, and the other one goes upstairs with a few front rooms. There'll usually be suspects around here. These guys don't give up easy, and have many rooms to flank you from. There are two guys wearing gas masks, but funnily enough, CS gas still works on them. They can also travel in between crawl spaces. This is the only mission where there are no civilians present. All you have to do is find Jared. In the kitchen you'll find the only soft objective, stolen federal documents, which links back to his old job. There is also a slideshow of unknown people and places being marked with these intriguing symbols. In a bathroom which expands, you may find many scribblings on the wall with tinfoil everywhere, with connections passing off to somewhere implying he has targets. Traveling upstairs you must be very careful, as there are many vantage points for an enemy to gun you down. I've encountered enemies in every room upstairs, balcony, back room and the main room by the door, usually with a trap up there somewhere. There is a tape that you can find which seems to tell us that Jared suffers with paranoia.
I did everything they asked, everything they wanted. It was never enough. Everywhere I go, they're in control. Masters and slaves. Not out here. Out here, I'm the master. Out here, I'm the one who decides. They'll come here. When they do, I'll show them. They're parasites that are beneath me. I'll crush them like insects. I'll do to them what they did to me.
This is further suggested by the ramblings that we find on the first door, some not making sense, marking the lines of conspiracy, where he seems to talk about injecting a certain slime-like substance into eyes of the public or police, and federals being controlled by a satanic group of the US government. Nonsensical mostly, all the more tells us that he is mentally unwell. This may explain why he suddenly started firing at police at a station.
They'll lie. Say he was a bad man. An evil man. Madman.
He seems to have a massive hatred towards cops and feds. However, equally, not all of these are profound scribbles. Mathematic equations and chemical formulas are scattered around the ramblings, which an individual of higher education would only understand. In fact, he knows a lot about the LSPD, SWAT, and Judge specifically. He also has many boards that suggest that he knows all the weaknesses in a SWAT officer's armor and where to get him to kill him. Nothing is more horrifying than an enemy who knows everything about your way of life. This potentially means he also served as SWAT, or at least worked with Judge before. Jared is equipped with a ghillie suit and no pants before the sensor, using an automatic assault rifle. Next we can venture into the basement. You'll find a wide lab with more ramblings and experimentations. The main thing we will find is ricin and a recipe for an aerosol bomb. Ricin is a deadly poison, which can be used as breathing in a lot of mist or powder. For example, a ricin cigarette, which was used in Breaking Bad. It causes hardness with breathing, fever, coughing, nausea, tightness in the chest, and pulmonary edema, fluid building up in the lungs. As mentioned before, he and his team were trying to craft an aerosol bomb, a thermobaric weapon, or also known as a vacuum bomb, which works by dispersing an aerosol gas cloud, liquid or powder, which then ignites the oxygen around it in a massive chemical combustion of flames. The same bomb used in The Walking Dead. Jared Scott is a very dangerous man. We see his experiments with fauna with tons of empty animal cages around, but thankfully he didn't quite have enough time to test it on humans. This mission shows how dangerous a man can be, left at his own devices. Starting off as a mysterious man shooting at cops, to a paranoid genius working on deadly poison and bombs with great knowledge on people. But after all that, we've barely got down the iceberg. There is so much more to uncover in Los Sueños, so much more evil we will encounter, but however that's postponed for part 2. So if you want to tune in, ring that bell, subscribe, and leave a like, and then we can dive into Los Sueños and purge the evil.